I was thinking a mini Marshall Plan, you know. I mean, it's that serious for me. That if you really want to change the physical asset base, so I'll give you an example, Tunbridge Wells. Tunbridge Wells, population about 110,000. We've got a multiple office estate there that is incredible. We have agreed with the government that we're going to have one office outside of Tunbridge Wells that will house the Department of Health, the primary health care, the fire, police, all of us. We're all going to be in one office. And the public access bit is going to be home working, hot desking home working, gateway footfall, and web and transaction, and telephonic single number. So you then start to see where the future is. The other thing I do say to you is that this nonsense that some of the debates got into nationally, when we keep saying front office, back office. In the 21st century, it is extraordinarily difficult to make these distinctions, particularly when you get into digital technology and you are transacting differently with the public. The differential about saying, oh, this is front office, it's not easy to do that anymore. And I think the digital world is changing our mindsets about that. And I think that's where I think it was Bill Gates who said a couple of years ago that he thought in the States, he thought generally that in America at that point, that the American public service management was behind the ball game in relation to digital changes. I argue that I still feel that public service management in the UK is behind the ball game. I was talking to my PCT colleagues a while back, and we were talking about this issue. And if you look at the health service, it's spent billions. Actually, I wouldn't mind being one of the companies that promised them all the world and didn't deliver. But it's spent billions, and it has not had that return on that investment. And I think where we're going now is that the citizen is going to drive this change, whatever we think in the public sector, whatever the public sector attitudes are. And that includes my politicians. The world is changing very, very fast. And Total Place can either give us that opportunity, and the way Edward said, that we say, we grab it, we imagine, we paint these pictures, and we go for it. And with you, with the private sector, we could do wonders. And we may actually very much surprise ourselves in terms of what those savings might be, and look back and think, why were we so worried? I've also done in Kent the first thing I think in the country that has been done, local government, for local government to review the prisons in Kent, which is what we've just completed. We've got more prisons in Kent than any other authority in England. I don't know why that is. Nobody's ever told me how this has happened, but we have. And it's a very interesting report, because what it tells us, again, from a Total Place point of view, is that the public policies that we have within the prison population in the UK needs to be central within local government. Local government needs to see that as part of its central blood. It shouldn't be just left in the silo in central government. And that comes back to a whole range of issues about Total Place. So what are the wicked issues? Proposition of power is somewhat fragmented. I think the departmental structures, including local government, are still very siloed. I think the politicians generally want it, but are struggling with the implications of it. Central government spending departments, I think, particularly the two big ones, are still feeling that they're immune. And I have to tell you, anybody that would believe, I've been in this business a long time, I worked in the health service, anybody that would believe that you should actually protect the health service is daft. But anybody that thinks you should, in revenue terms, I would tell you now, if that happened in a literal sense, local government would be decimated. Decimated. Wouldn't be 13%. We've calibrated in Kent that if that actually happened, and defence was protected, the health service was protected, and one or two other big spenders, and welfare benefits, the economy didn't rush out of recession. We had a rising trend of unemployment, that local government would be into 30–40% reductions. So it's ridiculous. And I don't think it's right, because I think the health service has a lot going for it in terms of we could change and make it more efficient. Now, and I'm concluding now. Not about restructuring. In my view, it's about innovation. It's about imagination. It's about strong political leadership, having the courage to take this step, and having very talented people in the private sector and the public sector working together to make this difference. It is about transforming the way professional services operate in the world that we live in, and try to get them to operate in a way that is citizen-centric. That a way is about us as ordinary people understanding what's going on out there. We need a public service, we want it to be efficient. One woman said to me in Kent, she said, the trouble is, Mr. Gilroy, everybody wants to do assessments, nobody wants to do the washing up anymore. And there is a sense of that in our business across the piece, that everybody wants to professionalise the service and we're losing sight of the shoelaces. You know, see that in hospitals. How can it be in this country? Tell me how it can be. The 6th richest country in the world, how can it be that we have a hospital in Staffordshire that can starve 400 people and let them die of dehydration in the 21st century? Tell me how that can be with the amount of regulation. That's my last point. Regulation, if we're serious about this, the banks may have been under-regulated, but the public sector is over-regulated. The private sector in all of its forms, in my view, is somewhat over-regulated. And if we want to make a difference over the next 10 years, we've got to be unshackled. For innovation to work, we've got to be unshackled. We've got to deregulate. We've got to make sure that regulation is proportionate to the business that we're all in. So as I finish and say to you this, I think that where we are in Kent, we're on a journey. I think that journey will either be transformational with everybody else in the country post-election over the next 10 years, or, goes back to Edward's point, we'll go into what I call that traditional, sterile, top-slicing of silos within the public sector, and our politicians in local government will be furious, they'll be in crisis management. We'll either go that route, or we'll be seriously brave. And I leave you with one last thought, that if we are seriously brave and we use our imagination, it just might give us a preview of what's possible in the future. Thank you very much.